here we go. This is my first attempt at beating up one of these tyres. So she's still hardly any pressure in there. I put the valve stem back in, and I'm just going to run some soap around the outsides of the bead with a brush and chuck some air in. Soapy as slippery as can be. So throw some air in and see what happens. Push that up to 40 psi. Looks like it's even. Feels like it's even. So what I'm going to do is just drop the air back out and just see how well that's sitting on there. And if it's all worked out, we'll give this a wipe down and call this one done. Now I need to find the right pressure that these are supposed to run on, which says 36 psi. There we go, 2 wheels and tyres all ready to go. Wet at the moment. I took them upstairs and used the hose and washed off the excess of the soap that was left all around them, but yeah, looking really good. This one, slightly concerned, it's still got little soapy bubbles coming out of here around the back of the valve, so I hope I didn't damage the valve stem and the tube, and I'm hoping it's just the last of the air pushing out from between the rim and the tyre on the inside, and that's just finding its way out through that hole there. So I'll keep an eye on it. I know what pressure I've got them sitting at the moment, and I'll just check them in a couple of days and just see if it's still holding the same pressure within the tube. If the tube's still the same pressure, then I know the air's coming from where I think it is. If the tube goes down, then I know I've damaged the tube, but hopefully we'll be okay. Alright, here we go. So I'm going to start with the first one. Remember when I took this apart, I kept the 2 boxes separate. As long as I make sure I've got one set up left hand, one set up right hand. One thing I have done with these, the little retainer or the little spring mechanisms in here were really worn on one side. What I found is I could take them out and reverse them, so I've got a nice good side instead of using the worn side from before. I've put them in the other way, so I've got good grad there. Springs are still good, so we're just going to smear grease all around the inside of this. Put this in, got the grease nipple to go back in. Haven't got a grease gun, so I'm just going to be putting as much grease in as I can by hand, just with my fingers. Put it all together, and then we can pump some grease through it with a grease gun at another stage. So let's just get messy. Okay, there we go, nice easy job. Yeah, it took about 10 minutes for that one. It works, turns one direction, locks up the other way, so got that's going to be, well, it depends which side of the machine I put it on, whether it's going to be left or right handed I suppose. At the moment, if I put that on the machine like that, on the what side is that going to be? If I put that on the left hand side, that's just going to freewheel, it's not going to drive forward, so this has to go on the right hand side and then it will drive forward. But if I wanted to push the machine, the axle can stay still and I can push forwards, but it's not going to roll backwards, and the drive is going to push forwards through the axle. So that's my right-handed hub, so I have to make sure I put that on the right-handed tyre. Looking at that short axle, there's not a lot of room between the frame and the hub, so I think what I'm going to do is fit these hubs on to the frame first and then put the tyres on, wheels on after. Just be a bit easier to get a socket in onto that to do that bolt up. So right, I won't bore you with the second one because it's exactly the same, just just the other side. So I'll get on with that now and we'll show you where we're at after that. Alrighty, so I've been just plodding away at a couple of different bits and pieces. So I just thought I'd better grab the camera again before I get too carried away and missing anything out. So I've got both those hubs done. See, one sitting down there on the machine on that axle, and the other one's just up here on the bench. Other little job that I've taken care of is a couple of studs for this side, where the implements, the two drive outputs, go onto there, one for the sickle bar mower and the other one that runs the roller mower. I did notice, unfortunately, with that fuel leak that it has attacked my paint. Down under here I noticed this morning that paint's gone a bit yuck under there, but hopefully we can touch that up. I sort of went a little bit further back though, around the other side of the machine, and noticed the fuel petcock valve must have been leaking as well, because we've had some drips come down onto here and damage the paint. I'm not too concerned about this side of things because the handlebars will mount through here and that probably won't be seen anyway, but I can touch it up just with a spray can. There's nothing in there that I'd need a mask off. I can just give it a quick squirt to get rid of those. There's cleaning up the handlebars, getting them ready to paint, just giving them a hose down and a clean down with the soapy water. Done the other side of this clutch lever fork, and this is the long rod that connects the clutch handle to the handlebars. Through that does everything. So sorry if I'm not making a lot of sense, but I don't know all the technical terms for everything. I'm just figuring out as I go. Giving this a bit of a clean up and a degrease as well this morning, so I shall carry on. Okay, here we go, we're another step closer now. So yeah, that long axle doesn't stick out as far as I thought it would. It's actually quite nice. I guess the option there is wheel weights. I don't know if the smaller model of this Atom had wheel weights available. But one good thing with this axle is that it has some little locating lugs for the bolts to go into. If you can see them under there, the light's kind of trying to try this side. I don't know if they show up very well on camera, but there's some little dimples in the axle itself that the bolts locate into, so that's actually quite handy. Made it easy to set things up equal from side to side. I have left a little bit of play from side to side in those collars. So yeah, we're one step closer anyway. Wheels are on now. I'll leave it sitting up on that block of wood. Going to go and grab the handlebars from upstairs. They should be nice and dry and warm, been sitting in the sun after a good wash, so I can put a coat of paint on those, and throw in a coat of paint on the top side of these handlebars. Not looking too bad. Yeah, there's a bug's come to land in there, but we'll get rid of him later. Yeah, they're coming up alright. So this is the last piece of this the puzzle. We'll get these dried up. I'll put this in the shed for the night. If the sun's out tomorrow, we'll flip them over, give the other side a couple of coats, and once these are done, then I'll throw the handlebars on and we should be able to take it for a walk. Cheers. Other day, back into it for a bit more. Just thought I'd roll her out in the sun today. What little bit of sun there is. Yeah, weather's changing here, it's cooling right down now, so I've got to make the most of today really to get the painting finished off on the handlebars. I made a decision last night and really reinforced it this morning when I brought this outside, seeing that the bit of damage to the paintwork that's occurred from that fuel leak. I really do need to get that sorted. So the decision I've come to is that I'm going to be removing the carburetor and the fuel tank today. I need to unfortunately discard, well, or swap out the sliding shuttle valve in here for the fuel and replace that with a standard fuel tap. I just don't want to risk having it leak if I ever leave fuel in it after I've had it running, and just wrecking the paintwork. So I'm going to take the fuel tank off to get that out, and that should all come out connected with the hose. The carburetor, I have to take the carburetor off to get this banjo fitting out of here. Now the other little direction change that I made initially in, I can't remember if it was the first or second video, I talked about setting up the sickle bar mower because it's the most impressive attachment this has, but I haven't done any work or haven't had anything done with the output. I battled with that, with getting the bearings out, and found that it's had a few crashes, and the inside of the fitting that goes into there was a little bit bung and needs some attention and some work. So direction I'm going in now is these things that are sitting over here. So this is a weight bar, counterweight bar, that sits into the front of the machine, and then we have a long pin type bolt that threads down through there into the hole to hold the counterweight on. It's the same way the other attachments go on. So that's a nice easy one to deal with, and just give that all a good wire brush and a I don't know, water blast, steam clean, get it sorted. And then I've got the counterweights over here that go on that bar as well. So then the other couple of things that I've been looking at that I've got in the shed there, for the rear of this machine, there's these little harrows, I think they're called, I don't really know, little discs on the back here, and the first little plough blade. So this one, what I thought was interesting about it, once I get these off, I've seen other photos of this set up with just this base plate without the discs on the bottom, being used effectively as a foot. And when I hold this up to the rear of the machine, I can see how much higher that pipe sticks up, so that would probably come down and allow the machine to rest on the back quite well. Yeah, just based off that height. So I could end up doing that just with this top section with the foot to start with, and then deal with the discs to put them back on later on. So yeah, I know it was a slightly different direction. I'm not going to be as nearly impressive as the sickle bar would have been, but I think I've got to get something on it rather than just pushing it around as it is now, you know, just by handlebars with no implement or attachment or anything on it. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that. But I've got the handlebars sitting up here in the sun, and some other little bits. Well, it's just clouded now, but I want to get these fully taken care of today. As I said, the temperature's going to drop, weather's going to turn a bit nasty, so once I get these painted I can fit them back on and get that all sorted. Bolts, this is the long bolt that goes through the front, and the short bolt for the back. And we've still got the clutch handle, a couple of bits and pieces. These were chromed parts, but now we're going gloss black instead. So yeah, my fuel leaks are all gone. There's nothing dripping out of here. I've got a rag just under here to catch the little bit of oil that's seeping from the bottom of the gearbox. The good thing about the oil is the oil's not solvent enough to damage the paint, so that's great. Okay, so we'll choke it right off, just open it, found just opening it a little bit. It should still be a little bit warm from the last run, and I've got that bungee cord disengaging the clutch so the wheels don't try and drive it out the door. Let's give it a pull and see what happens. happy with today's results. Had a couple of setbacks. I wouldn't call them failures, I call them learning experiences. So yeah, unfortunately I haven't had those chance to put any more paint on those handlebars, so I really need warmer weather or sunnier weather at least to get that done. Okay, that's it for today. Back upstairs. See ya. Alright, here we go. We're on our final little push today. I've just got this up here in the sun. I'm just going to do these paint touch-ups. So I don't know if you can see under here. I bit the bullet yesterday and swapped that fuel tap. I just decided I couldn't take the risk of having fuel dropping and ruining this paint all over again and continuous paint repairs. So yeah, we've gone for a modern on-off fuel tap in there, and just had to replace the fuel line as well because the other one was slightly short. The valve came across a bit further. So I'm going to take care of these paint repairs. The handlebars are all done. I've only got about 9 minutes left on this memory card. So yeah, by the time I edit out the stuff that you don't need to see, that sort of gives me about 5 minutes of filming for you. So yeah, I'll get this paint repair taken care of, and then we'll get the handlebars on, and next thing you should see this thing going. Here we are, folks. Big reveal. Well, not really, because you've been seeing this thing in little bits and pieces as we've gone along. So we're done, ready to yeah, give it a maiden voyage. Handlebars are all back on, the clutch linkage is all back in, handle working well, throttle cable, throttle control up there. I don't have handlebar grips yet. I've got some of those on order that'll slide on afterwards, but you know, she's in a condition ready to go now. I've got it sitting on a block of wood at the back there just while I get it started. It's fairly well balanced. I've still got the jack under the front, so I can't show you that. Never mind, so I'm just going to set the camera on the tripod, have a go at starting it, and make sure everything works as it should. The clutch seems to disengage, the lever locks in place, so we'll yeah, we'll have a little play. Well, here we have it, eh? All done. Moment to be really proud of, I think. It's turned out really well. Good to see it, completely up and running again and moving under its own power. Runs really well, runs really nice. Went down across the lawn to the neighbours, up and down the hill over here like you saw. So yeah, really stoked. So this is effectively the end of the Grandad Mack episodes. There will be more to come obviously, but we'll just keep that to just sort of casual videos now and then when I can get to them doing the implements and the bits and pieces, and there'll be some updates. Hopefully I've got the Farming Like Grandad event again coming up that I should get this to next year with a couple of bits and pieces done for it. So yeah, there'll be more, so please subscribe to the channel. If you've enjoyed what I've done with this project, let me know. Leave comments below. Maybe I should chuck the email address for the channel in the description for the video, so if you need to get in touch with me about anything or got advice or any questions, let me know how I've got on. Be really appreciated to get some feedback and some more inspiration for other projects. I've got a couple of other things to take care of in the shed now, so we'll end it off there. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you in the next video somewhere along the way. Cheers.